Hello everyone and welcome back to another OpenFront.io video. This is Enzo, and today I'm going to be showing you how to take on hard difficulty in OpenFront. So I think for many of you, you probably get the idea of how to do that, but generally speaking, I'm just going to give you a walkthrough of how you want to play it, what you want to do. I'm spawning in here on the Middle East and North Africa map, and the first thing you should know is that picking a spawn is very key. So in OpenFront, there are 3 different terrains. You can see this green plains terrain, you can see highland terrain, and then you can see mountains here. So spawning in the plains, it's going to give me a little bit of an edge at the start. And the other thing that I was doing, if you look in the bottom left, I'm using a little bit higher on the slider bar just because on this balance, when I'm recording this, it's February, there's an advantage to essentially attacking quickly. The other thing, or attacking with a higher attack ratio, you get a little bit of a bonus. So once you get out of your opening, you're gonna wanna start attacking bots. And one of the things you can do is you can try to encircle bots like that. That's a little bit more efficient. And for hard mode, you know what's so funny? I think I just know how to play hard mode. I think you do wanna make some alliances with people around you. You just wanna be competent, basically just be slow and practical. The kind of indicator of when you need to attack. I know this is so obscure, but the thing you need to look at right here is your population growth, in parentheses down in the bottom left. Essentially, what you need to think is you have different rates of growth. I don't know if it's linear. I don't know if you get some bonus for having more troops, but when this starts to drop down, it means that you need to attack to be more efficient. So that is going to be kind of your gauge of how you need to play these positions. At this point in time, hard mode, it doesn't look incredibly deadly. You do have to watch out though, that bots like the Sudan bot, I wasn't paying that much attention, but I've read in the forums that some of the bots might get extra buffs. So the fact that they were that far ahead, you can see the Yemen bot down here, they're doing really well. Iraq bot is doing very well as well as Algeria. And essentially with this, the other thing you want to do is close to the start, you probably want to do this a little bit before. You want to lower basically your troop to worker count just a little bit because you're going to want to start getting gold in order to trade. In terms of kind of how my plan is for hard mode, I'm not going to try to brute force it. I am going to try to essentially use trade to my advantage. This is what the developer says. You're supposed to use trade. In multiplayer, I have not seen trade be super viable, but maybe that's because no one has any idea what they're doing. That is to be determined. I'm being attacked by Egypt right now. One of the things you can also do if you're being attacked by someone early game, you can put up defense posts. You can see this kind of darkened border right there. That essentially just means that that is 5 times as difficult to take. And I'm probably not even doing a good job at the start, following my own rules of basically when to click on other bots. So this is looking all right. I'm keeping on going. I do need to be conscious of Sudan, but the fact that I have an alliance, I don't think bots can break alliances at this point in time. Bots do have nukes, but it should be all right. I'm being attacked by Egypt, but I'm not that concerned. I'm just going to kind of keep on cleaning up my area. I need to do better of paying attention to this obscure number here. It's kind of troll. That needs to change in the game, in my honest opinion, because people who are playing OpenFront, you care about dynamics and taking over all these countries and shit, right? I mean, that's what the cool part is. It's not these obscure numbers in the bottom left. So I'm just continuing to click, taking out basically what are these bots down here. So Tupi Canton, Uzbek Kingdoms, Romanov Dynasty, right? These are bots, and the difference between bots and NPCs is just kind of strength and essentially what they can do. I don't know if the bots, I don't know if they can build ports and stuff. The NPCs can, and I've seen some of these bots last a long time, but they're kind of just nerfed. The NPCs are really where it's at in terms of what you're doing. So in terms of your game plan, you're just going to want to clean up all of your bots. That should be your first goal. I could see a reality where you might go for an NPC like Egypt right here, but the thing you can think about is I just have better options in terms of getting land, right? So I'm continuing to do this. I'm doing a pretty poor job of clicking when basically my population interest goes down a little bit, and I'm getting up to the point where I can actually build a port. So I'm going to do that, and I might even try to look for another ally with a port that I can make. You right click on them, and I'm gonna see if Greece will accept this. Actually, the problem is you can only have 3 alliances. So that looks like that is gonna be Sudan, Chad, and Libya. And now that I'm basically at my population cap, you can see I wasn't gaining anything. I'm going to just keep on expanding. That's how you want to play these basically positions. You just want to keep on expanding and move out. The logic of the port right here is essentially to try to get trade going. I don't know if it's kind of like a JIP thing, but these ports from like Libya, from Sudan, they should start sending out trade ships. I'm going to try to keep an eye out for one. This right here is not a trade ship. That is a, what is it called? I think that's a destroyer that essentially it just captures other trade ships. We can even put out our own destroyer right here if we want. You can see it's 250K. And it's not as strong as a battleship, which I actually probably should have put out because I think this Libyan battleship, oh yeah, it's Libya, so I don't have to worry about that. Yeah, so Jordan's mad. NPCs send out basically angry emojis. You just want to keep on basically expanding when this number goes down and basically thinking about kind of your best opportunities. I'm going to also just strategically put a defense post down here because I don't have an alliance here and I want to try to defend that front. So I'm going to keep on moving. I'm going to keep on taking this. I have crown at this point in time, so things are looking good. You can see that Greece is fighting Iraq, and my kind of logic at this point in time is essentially I'm just going to kind of wait and look for what target looks like it is the best. So I think just seeing that my troop count is basically kind of decreasing, the increase is going down. I'm going to go for Yemen here, just because I think I can push them off. I think that does make sense. I could have gone for Iraq. Actually, Iraq makes a lot more sense than Yemen. So I'm going to actually pivot. I don't know if the bots can pivot. And you got to be conscious of how much you send out in these attacks. So I'm keeping an eye on this. This is starting to go down. I want to keep on pushing here. Just trying to be as efficient as possible. One of the things, if anyone is like in the Open Front Discord and they know what like the attack to defense kind of ratio is, I'd be super interested in that. And I see right here, there are multiple people just like sending a ton of troops out, and I don't know what the hell's happening with that. I think I probably need to think about Greece. And just given the situation here, I'm going to put a defense post on that front. Just because I think that makes sense. So there's a bomb right there. And I don't want to fight Kazakhstan. And I wonder if, I actually don't think I can get an alliance with Greece because I think you're only allowed 3. So let me see what's going on this front. So Greece is neutral, Yemen is hostile. So I'm just going to keep on working on Yemen and see if I can change the kind of status quo here. So I'm going to continue using my troops. I'm kind of worried about Greece. And Kazakhstan is hostile, which isn't great. But I think just given that Yemen is hostile, I'm going to keep on pushing on this front. And I think my priority, whoa, do you see this? I didn't even notice this. This is the thing with like Open Front. There's all these kind of like dynamics that are moving really fast. Like that I took all of this coast right here. So that is actually really interesting. I'm going to keep on pushing here on this front, trying to take this out. I'm continuing to get gold. And soon I'm going to start wanting to think about getting a missile silo. Because I think missile silo is going to be important for me. The other thing, like if you're playing these, you should just kind of look around at the people around you, see who's hostile, see who's threatening. I need to be sending out a little bit less because you see this going up. I want this to kind of be stabilized, if that makes sense, right? And I also want to think about how Greece is doing. So it looks like Greece got the traitor symbol. I don't know what the practical implication of that is, but that basically means if you get it, that's a problem. They're sitting on a ton of troops. I wonder, they might be building cities. I wonder if in these kind of games you should be building cities. Because they, well, you know, they only increase your cap by like 25K, which broadly speaking isn't that much. Like that's pretty low key. But it can make a difference. So I'm going to keep on going and taking out this. In these games, just be chill, be calm, click at kind of regular intervals at kind of your targets that look to be pragmatic. One of the challenges I do think about this kind of situation is I do think about essentially like being sandwiched in the middle here. So I'm going to do something really quickly. I actually probably should have done that. I was just thinking I could probably kick off Kazakhstan here. So I'm going to put up a defense post if they do want to try to push back. I don't think that was the right call, to be really frank, I'm going to actually see if I can ally Spain and ally Greece, because I think you might be able to cheese it, if that makes sense. So, let's see. Spain accepted alliance, so I don't have to worry about that. And did Greece? Greece rejected the alliance. Right, so they're still neutral, so I'm going to just try to kick Kazakhstan off of here. And hopefully that should work. And given Greece rejected that alliance, I think I'm probably just going to go for them next. I think the thing I can do too is, you can see I've just been saving gold. My logic is I apparently captured a missile silo right here, right on the border. And my thought is that I can, when I get to 5 mil, I'm going to just launch the hydrogen bomb. And then I'm just going to basically destroy Greece completely. So I think we're there. So watch this. This should work. So I'm going to go hydrogen bomb. You just click on where you want it to land. I think this should be good. There you see it launching right there, right over Turkey, right into this region over here. And as soon as that hits, I'm just going to go in with like a big attack. You see that. You see how much their troops basically drop. And now is the time to go on in. You see me pushing in here. And that is basically going to be devastating. So I can probably go into this radiation zone. I don't know how difficult it is to capture radiation zone compared to other areas. You see like how this absolutely wrecked Greece's borders. And I'm going to keep on my attack. I'm going to send a boat over here, basically just try to finish Greece off. And I think my thought is I'm just going to try to finish off this half of the map and then go for Spain, essentially the Spanish invasion of Morocco and now down to Mauritania. I think that's what makes sense. Kazakhstan's hostile, and given how low troops they are, I think I'm going to push in here, and you can see basically pushing right into the plains. That is really effective. I don't know what like all these things are. I guess they were like lakes or something like that. And they're sending out the clown emoji. I don't know what that's about. Sudan is right here. I'll do an alliance with them for right now. Maybe I'll get some trade. That's the thing with Open Front, that like things are moving like quickly enough that like no one, I think, is really looking like that in depth at the bottom right corner of all the freaking notifications. So I don't know if I've actually gotten almost any trade. I think this is a trade ship right here going through. Yeah. It's a Sudanese trade ship, and it'll probably go to me. It's just going through the Suez Canal. So I'm going to keep on mowing down this, mowing through Kazakhstan, basically finish them off in the mountains. And I want to clear them just so I get all of their gold. You can see in the top right, they have 150k gold. So I'm sending this right here. And you can see in the bottom right, I got 160k gold from that. And now I'm going to try to clear Greece just so I get their gold. It's not as significant as it was in the past. Like before this update, you could get like millions of gold because no one was basically using their gold. So Spain, they are pretty much on par with me in terms of what's going on. They probably even are sending out basically some missiles on me. And given where I'm at, I see that my population plus minus is starting to go down. I think I could probably just send out like a crazy attack and finish them. But I'm going to wait because I think I've won the game essentially. You see me with Super Crown. I can do whatever I want now. Send out emojis. Oh, they have a middle finger emoji. That's great. Go figure with that. And I think what I'm going to do for Spain is I'm going to use the same strategy as I used for this guy up here. That essentially, what I'm going to do, well, I don't need to ally that. I don't need to ally that at all. I'm going to send a bomb right in the middle of this, and this is going to basically decimate all their troops. And then I'm just going to push in with like a ton of troops all at once, and I don't think they're going to be able to do anything. So I'm going to also, I bet there's some like special strategies you can probably do to get like bonus troops. I'm just thinking about it. Right, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to send out a boat right here. And the bomb should be getting close. And as soon as it gets in, I'm going to do like a 60+% attack. You can see it right there. It's going to be right on Spain's face. And that, I think that should basically cripple them. It's funny, they actually have a ton of land, so they're still pretty healthy. But I think this push in should be like almost unstoppable. And with Sudan here, just because the game is what it is, I can't let you live, dude. Can't let you live. That's not how it works. And just to try to speed things up, I'm going to send some boats over here. Just try to get some of these islands. I should be pretty good. So I'm just kind of decking Spain with the cloud face, which I don't get the cloud face. Why is there a cloud face at this point in time? How does that make any sense? I also think I can probably just do a big attack into Sudan, and that should make some progress. It actually didn't, surprisingly enough. I don't know why that didn't make as much progress as I thought it would. Go figure. I mean, that's one of the things you gotta be careful with kind of the open front meta, is that you can be very vulnerable if you increase your attack ratio, but in multiplayer, it looks like right now, you're very much rewarded for being aggressive. I'm being nuked here, so I'm just gonna take all this back. I don't know if the nuke, like this fallout zone, this green right here, I don't know if that is like more difficult to take than mountains. I don't want your alliance, Sudan. I just want to attack. So I think they're basically low enough that this should be pretty much good. You can see I took this huge swath right there. I don't know what that is. That like that might be like, they might have like charted some of these paths. I don't know if that's the Nile. Let me know what you think in the comments. I think it's actually pretty cool. I do need to be smart though with all this. I think I need to probably chill out just a little bit so that I stay in this kind of zone where I'm getting good amounts of interest. I'm just gonna keep on nuking Sudan because to hell with that. And right. So remember, just in summary, the things you want to do: choose a spot that's green at the start, make some alliances, build a port. Maybe it'll work with trade, I don't know. And then you just kind of want to attack people, keeping tabs on kind of your population plus right here. I've done such a poor job of it. Partially because I don't think open front is like that fun just thinking about like just the numbers in that regard. You can see it's still going up. So I guess that means that there probably is like an interest factor to keep in mind with that. That there's like an ideal spot of how many troops you have. And it might be like the 1.5 kind of ratio like thing that you can have 1.5 the level of land that you have, and once you start getting over 1, it starts to go down. Yeah, I think that might, well, I think someone needs to look at that. Someone, if you do figure out what that ratio is, let me know in the comments. That would be great. Do some of the groundwork for me. So that looks good. I'd also be interested what the defense ratio is, though I guess that's changing, and you see this. You see Spain just basically being obliterated. So in any case, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. You want to get Open Front more popular, let's try to get more people playing the game so we can have more popular multiplayer games. And in any case, I guess I'll see y'all in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.